Mr. Allen, anything to say?
Hey guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Alright, so we're getting a little Delphi news updates as Richard Allen was in court yesterday, which was Friday. But before I get into that update, I always like to feature a missing persons poster on the channel, so let me pull up today's missing persons poster. Today's missing person is a young guy who I've been covering on this channel for most of the year I have been on YouTube. This is little Michael Monkey Vaughan. And if you're not familiar with Monkey, please check out my playlist on little Michael Vaughan. And little Michael has a special place in my heart. He was last seen on July 27th of 2021, and he's from Fruitland, Idaho. His last known height and weight was 3 feet 7 inches tall, 50 pounds. He's got blonde hair and blue eyes. He has over a $50,000 reward. I know it's a higher amount at this point. If you have any information on little Michael Monkey Vaughan, please call 911, or you can always contact the Fruitland Police Department. There's an email also, findmichael@fruitland.org. Again, this is little Michael Vaughan, and we refer to him as Monkey. He's really taken over a lot of our hearts, and we just want to see him home back with his family. So if you have any information on this little guy, please contact the authorities. So let's discuss the hearing that happened yesterday, which was Friday, in regards to the Delphi double unalivings case. And this particular article is from Fox 59. Here's what happened during Richard Allen's hearing in the Delphi case. Heavily shackled and accompanied by officers, Delphi unaliving suspect Richard Allen arrived for a pair of hearings in connection with the case. Before the hearing began, officers swept the defense table to make sure it was safe. 2 women were taken to the front of the courtroom. Allen mouthed, "I love you," to them. He wore a yellow jumpsuit and protective vest. Allen is charged with unaliving in the February 2017 deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. The 2 teens disappeared on the Delphi Historic Trails. Their bodies were found on February 14, 2017. The case went unsolved for more than 5 years. Indiana State Police announced Allen's arrest in October 2022. The hearing was delayed until 10:26 a.m. It lasted only about 10 minutes, wrapping up by about 10:36 a.m., so it was a very quick one. Defense attorneys and prosecutors spent several minutes talking to Judge Fran Gull in her chambers before the proceedings began. Gull expressed skepticism that Allen's trial would be on track for March 23rd, citing the extraordinary voluminous evidence in the case that must be turned over to the defense. I completely agree. March is really, really quick for all this. The judge also said she couldn't see how the trial could involve Carroll County jurors. It would be difficult, if not impossible, to find jurors in Carroll County who have not been involved in the case in some capacity. At the same time, she couldn't see a way for the trial to be held outside of Carroll County, given the convenience of the witnesses. She said the cost to move the trial to another county would be extraordinary. The solution will involve bringing in jurors from an outside county. The defense and prosecution have a week to agree on a suitable county from which the jurors could be bused into Carroll County and sequestered during the trial. The gag order will remain in effect, although attorneys from both sides can talk about procedural issues and the bail hearing set for February 17th. They are not to discuss the facts of the case. Gold said she'll hear arguments during the bail hearing on whether the trial can proceed as scheduled on March 23rd, although there are thousands upon thousands of pages of discovery for the state to turn over to Allen's defense lawyers. Yeah, I find that hard to believe that it's going to happen that fast. Gall also noted that the state has been diligent in turning over material to Allen's lawyers. After the hearing, defense lawyers met with Gall in her chambers. They came back to the courtroom for a hearing on public funding for investigators. Those proceedings were closed to the public. So that sounds like a pretty good compromise, that they're going to keep it in Carroll County, the actual trial, but they have to agree upon in the next week where they're going to get jurors from. So I've heard some suggestions, but be interesting to see where they get them from. Obviously, like I said, they're going to be sequestered, so I don't know. This could be quite a long trial. I definitely don't foresee March at all. If they get a trial this year, I think that would be pretty amazing. But I mean, I do think they want to get this done as soon as possible. So we shall see. I think in the next week or so, maybe we'll know, or at least February, we're going to have some more information on when that trial may actually happen. Like I said, I'm pretty sure March is going to be crossed off, totally. So I don't know, maybe the fall, or summer, somewhere in there. But we shall see. So definitely interesting, and I thought that was a very good call from the judge to keep the trial in Carroll County, but bring jurors in and sequester them in the Delphi area. Sounds like a good compromise to me. And here's a bit of video from Richard Allen's attorneys, Baldwin and Rozzi, discussing the jury pool with some of the media afterwards. So let me play that so we can all check it out.
How's your client doing through all of this?
It's tough. It's tough for him. I mean, we just spent 20, 30 minutes with Rick, and he misses his wife. He misses human connection with people. So it's been difficult for him. And again, I don't know what we're allowed. I don't want to be violating any. We do not want to go awry of the judge here. And but thank you for asking. Rick is doing not terrifically, but he's staying mentally tough right now.
How heavy a lift is it to try to sift through what the judge said is voluminous material that I'm assuming a U-Haul is going to back up to your office and get a hand truck and dump it in your office?
Yeah. No, it's not rocket science. That it just takes manpower and time to sort through all this. But we've got staff that can assist us with this and try to vet the stuff that's important and weed out the stuff that's not. And I mean, it's just, look, that's what lawyers do. That's what our staffs are used to doing, and I don't really think there's really more to say about it than that.
You think you're going to go March 23rd?
In terms of a trial?
Yes.
I think we all know where we are with that at this point.
Anybody
that's hung around a courtroom for any period of time would probably be able to draw a conclusion about where we are with that.
you guys plan to ask for bail to be granted?
Well, we have a bail hearing set, and we're going to use that.
State has a burden at that hearing, February 17th. So we'll be ready to roll. We'll be asking for him to be released.
You think you got a solid chance?
I think these are difficult things to win. We won one fairly recently in a different county, and so it is not impossible, but the odds are stacked against you the way the law is set up. But the state has to, they have certain burdens to meet, and we shall see if they are going to be able to meet those burdens.
When that discovery lands on your desk and you two guys are sitting there, what's going to be the first thing you're going to flip through and say, we need to look at this thing very first?
I think those are the areas that the judge does not want us to comment on, and it's, I mean, you heard her say in court, this is voluminous, and it is voluminous, and thousands is not even, that's probably a way underestimation of where we're at, and we've been told there's even more discovery coming. So
Talk about just quickly how a logistical undertaking, a change of venue is to have to go to a whole nother county somewhere, get that jury, bring them back here, sequester them. I mean,
Sure. Well, you heard the judge mention that, we're going to, I guess from a brick and mortar standpoint, proceedings going to carry out in this county. And I think it's a logical conclusion, and a lot of that is it's just trying to deal with all the moving parts and not have to cause burden on other people. Of course, the most important thing here is that we get a veneer, a jury pool that we can be assured is fair and not prejudiced and unbiased. Like that is the goal in terms of where this case goes from a jury standpoint. But the rest of it seems pretty obvious to me that moving an army of people to southern Indiana is probably it's not the best use of taxpayer dollar, and it's also just logistically difficult for all of us.
yeah.
Did you get your money to hire your investigator?
We don't have an order on that yet, so.
Thank you guys. We
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Thank you. So I don't know too much about either of Richard Allen's attorneys, but from what we've seen, they seem to be pretty up to the task, and yeah, I mean, he seems like he's got pretty competent representation, and regardless of what we all feel, obviously what we want is justice for Abby and Libby, but everyone has a right to have representation and get a fair trial, and they need to make sure that Richard Allen gets that. So I'm glad that he's got that, and obviously if the evidence is what is believed to be that, and Richard Allen truly did unalive these girls, then yeah, he deserves every single thing that comes to him. And I hope that it comes right out in this case, and that in the trial, and they nail him to the wall. But until then, as much as we may not like it, he's innocent until proven guilty in that court of law. So yep, I will continue to report the facts here, and we can of course discuss what we think. And obviously I'm all about justice for the victims here on the channel, but at the same time, we got to be realistic. The first time we heard the name Richard Allen was the end of last year. So I mean, and then of course now he's been thrust into the spotlight, and we all believe he's guilty, but God forbid, you condemn a man who's not guilty. I mean, and that's for any case. So, but if he truly did what, he's accused of, he deserves, life in prison or the death penalty. I completely agree, completely with that. Same thing with anybody else that, hurts and unalives a human being. So, but we shall see. And it looks like we're going to have some more information when they do their, in a week, I guess, when they'll let us know where the jury will be chosen from. And I'm guessing by February 17th, they'll rule on the bail, which I'm pretty sure will be denied. I doubt that they're going to grant Richard Allen bail, but defenses get to argue, and we'll see how that goes. So let me know, as always, what you guys think in the comments, and I'll keep you apprised. I'm definitely not the first one on the scene for these, but I am keeping track of Delphi. It's been one that I'm following all the way through, and all about the justice for Abby and Libby. That's it. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day, and do me a favor on your way out, hit that like button, that thumbs up for me, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you would do that. We are so close to 1K. And you guys are awesome, and I love every single one of you. All right, have a great one, guys, and most of all, stay safe.